So as most of you guys who are Richmond fans probably know, the Tigers had a really weird and strange 2024 AFL draft. I mean, there was a lot of really weird and strange things about it. You could first point at the fact that before the draft started, the Tigers had traded away like 1,988 different players, therefore giving themselves 8 picks in the 2024 AFL draft, most of which were very high picks, and high picks that we've never even really seen teams have the capital for unless they're a foundation team like GWS or Gold Coast, or other weird situations like the unfortunate passing of the Richmond recruiting manager, Chris Toche. Now, in my whole entire life of watching professional sports, and I really don't think this was talked about enough in the AFL, it was really swept under the rug, I feel like. But I've never ever seen an established sports team have their recruiting manager or the guy who is mainly drafting the players pass away, not only throughout the draft process, but pass away literally like a week before the draft actually happened. Again, it was a really weird situation. I feel like the media didn't talk about it enough, that the Tigers, had to go into this draft without their recruiting manager, a guy who emotionally a lot of the recruitment team would have loved and would have literally worked months and months with, but a guy who was given the job to helm Richmond's future. Of course, he passed away, and it is very sad, but Richmond had to continue on the draft, and they had to get a man to replace him, and they never really did. They kind of just had, of course, their list manager doing all the work, as well as their Victorian recruiting manager, Ry Geishan, who, of course, actually played a really big part in this draft, and he was the guy who ultimately would go on to select most of the players. Again, in saying all of that, Richmond needed a new recruiting manager, and they've decided to stick to their guns, hiring Ry Geishan to officially do the job. Now, again, before we do get into everything and more that we know about this, I would just like to say there is still a decent amount of you guys who watch these videos who are not yet subscribed to the channel. So if you could do me a massive favor and leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel for the latest AFL content and news, so let me know you guys enjoy it. And without further ado, we'll get straight into it, with Richmond saying that the football club has officially appointed Ry Geishan as the club's new national recruiting manager. Geishan has been an important part of Richmond's recruiting team for the past 2 years since joining the club as Victorian recruiting manager early in 2023. Across close to 15 years working in the AFL industry, Geishan has held talent and operational roles at the AFL, AFLCA, AFL Victoria, and the Northern Knights. Geishan was also the director of football and first XV111 coach at Melbourne Grammar School for 2 seasons between 2020 and 2023. Following his time as the Knights talent manager, Richmond General Manager of Football Talent Blair Hartley said the club felt that Geishan was ready to step into the new role. Ry did an outstanding job in assisting and guiding the recruiting process in the preparation for last year's national draft, he said. He has had a strong grounding in the AFL industry, having played a variety of roles in both talent and operations. All of this, combined with the experience he has gained in the past 2 years with our recruiting department, has given him a solid base as he continues to grow and develop further. Richmond's 8 selections at this year's Telstra AFL draft, including 6 in the first round, the club currently holds a further 2 first-round picks amongst its 2025 draft board. So yeah, pretty big news that the Tigers ended up finding their guy, because it's really important that they have not only a guy that they can trust and know is going to do a good job, which he absolutely looks like he did with 2024. Again, time will tell, but it looks like he did an amazing job. But they needed a really good and experienced guy now who has helped with the Tigers the last 2 years, has done a ton of different work in a bunch of other different fields, to come in, because they have arguably the most important drafts we've seen from an AFL team in a long time. 2024, you had 8, selections, 7 of them basically being first round picks. While in 2025, Richmond are most likely going to have pick number 1 if they do, of course, finish last, which many people tip them to, of course, do. And a top 5 pick that the Tigers should hopefully get from North Melbourne, which again, we know that they have that pick. They traded for North Melbourne's future first. It's just depending where North finish. So let's just say that North finished 16th. Richmond will have picks 1 and 3 in the 2025 AFL draft. Literal domination. And that's not even to talk about the rumored father-son or 2 that the Tigers might have in 2025. Again, I know that sounds like a lie, because Richmond never have any father-sons, but there have been a couple of reported father-sons that the Tigers could be potentially having this year, as well as the Tigers trading for other first-round picks. We've heard from a bunch of different leaks and news and reporters all around the world, like Mr. Worldwide and Pitbull, that the Tigers could reportedly be trading their 2027 and 2026 first-round picks to try and add to 2025. Again, I don't think they'll trade their 2026, but considering AFL teams can now trade 2 years in advance on future first-round picks, again, I think the Tigers will be throwing that 2027 first-round pick to end up trying to get another first-round pick in 2025. I would not even be surprised, because, yeah, the Tigers want to hit this talent early. They want to get in now, and it's good that they've got their guy in Ryan Gaetian. Again, I think Gaetian will be tasked with probably taking at least 3 more first-round picks this year. Maybe even another rookie pick or a rookie pick after that. Maybe the Tigers might trade future 3rd or 4th to get back into the 3rd round this year. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Tigers have like another 5 picks. If we take all that into account, let's just say Tigers have another 5 picks, that means he will have basically taken around 13 players in 2 years, and that's not even to talk about the probable free agents that the Tigers might be bringing in 2025 as well, with all of the salary cap that we're going to have. So this is a lot of really interesting news. It's good that the Tigers have done this, and I'm very excited to see who Rye actually goes on a draft in the future. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all latest AFL content and news. Don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions on this all down below. What do you guys think about the Tigers appointing Ryan Gaetian to be their new recruiting manager? I'd very much like to know. Subscribe to my gaming channels, my IRL/vlog channels. Links for them will be down below. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.